my little...
Yeah, I did. Everything's checked. We're good.
Oh, is it?
Hang on. Yeah.
There you go, bobblehead ready. Mr.
There you
Walker. Hornets. You can be ESPN set up today.
Alright. Hot dog.
Ready?
Yeah, sure.
Feel good about it?
Ready.
That's all that matters. Welcome to the Business Legends podcast, where we interview business owners and entrepreneurs so that you can learn from their mistakes, pump up your own inspiration, and grow your bottom line. I'm the host of your show, Reece with my co-host, the best co-host of all time, Christian Webb. Say what's up?
Yeah. I feel so secure next to our guest today.
Yes, super secure. Today, our topic is keeping your business secure. And I gotta tell you guys, I'm feeling good. I got my hair cut yesterday. I got my bright shoes on, so I'm ready to rock and roll. Today we have Mr. James Clack, and our topic is keeping your business secure. James Clack has been doing surveillance installations for 15 years, and he opened up his own company called Perimeter Video. What makes him different is that he takes on a consultative approach to surveillance, and he got into the industry because he found that electricians were not quite using an intuitive approach for cameras and security features. James, how are we doing this morning?
Pretty good.
Yeah, man. So thank you so much for joining the show.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's might be a little bit different from LA, but at least you get to see all the beautiful Charlotte, you know.
Oh, I'd say Charlotte's much more beautiful.
Yeah?
You know, I enjoy being down here.
You know, as two unicorns, people that are actually from North Carolina, we really appreciate you saying that. You know, it is what it is. So surveillance, man. I mean, what's fun in surveillance? I mean, what kinds of crazy things have you seen?
Whoa, gee, where do I start on the crazy things? But what's fun about it is being able to watch your equipment securing a business and seeing the effect that it has on how the employees feel and how the owners of the business feel, and knowing that if something does happen, there is a video record of what happened exactly. You can't edit it, you can't lie against it, and in a lot of cases we are able to see a thief, or if somebody is assaulted in a business, you're able to see that person brought to justice.
Yeah, that's incredible, man, and I'm sure it just provides for so much peace of mind as somebody's working in their business, or I mean, you even do homes and stuff like that as well, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, tell me this. I mean, you've been doing this for 15 years. I mean, if you're not an expert at this point, then nobody is. So, what types of technology changes have you found in the last 15 years?
The biggest is the camera resolution.
Yeah.
For many years, I would say for probably 20 years or so plus, the camera resolution was very limited, and it was not even high definition for many years. After we broke through that high definition line, then we went up to full high def, and now it's almost to the point where 4K security cameras are the standard.
Wow, that's incredible. You were telling us before how there's been so many strides in things like facial recognition, catching thieves and stuff like that.
Correct.
I mean, they can practically, these cameras can practically make out the mole on your nose or something like that. If you know.
They can, and in fact, what we're doing now is we're implementing a lot of security cameras that have the ability to detect a face.
Oh wow!
And it will save a picture, not just in the video, but it will save a picture file with a timestamp to a remote server.
Wow!
With that face. So if you have a timestamp of when a situation happened, you can go back into that directory and look for the picture, so you have an actual head-on picture of that person that committed a crime.
Yeah.
So
I bet that shortens case length.
Yes, it does. Quite a bit.
I was gonna say, I mean, do you have any concerns about that being any type of profiling or something, like maybe, you know, an ex-felon or something like that? Is that the type of facial recognition that you're implementing, or?
The systems that we mainly put in, because I'm not working with corporate directly, I'm working more with franchisees of locations.
Right.
We're not doing the artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Companies, I will say, in some companies they do implement a system that is networked, and they'll put in a single camera at each one of their locations that's controlled by corporate.
Yeah.
That will identify a face, and
Yeah.
it will identify a customer number. It will assign you a number, so they can actually track how many franchises you walk into,
Wow.
and when you visit them, and how often you visit.
Yeah.
But that's controlled by corporate.
It's crazy to think about because, like, I don't know a lot about it, but I've seen some of the cool stuff. And I was talking to you the other day about my drone experience, right?
Yeah.
And that build, and I'm sure it's the same in security. They have machine learning, where like you can run so many photos through a system, and then that machine will actually track those photos and see that in pictures.
Correct.
I'd be surprised if they're not using that in security now.
Oh, they are.
They are.
There's a lot of there are a lot of artificial intelligence technologies being used. There's also license plate recognition.
Oh, nice.
So that's something that we do as well in businesses because it's very important. If you have a controlled environment, like we're right next to the Bank of America Stadium here, and most likely when you're driving in there, they have an automated system that's reading your license plate, putting a timestamp on there,
Wow.
and also taking a picture of your car so they know exactly what you're driving, when you're coming in there, when you're going out.
So they're secure and we don't even know it.
Right. A lot of cities are implementing that too. If you look over, sometimes if you're entering an incorporated city, you'll see cameras over the roadway facing down, and those are tracking cars coming in and out of the city.
I thought those were just catching people running red lights, to be honest with you.
Well, they're doing that.
Yeah,
but
I think I've seen those here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they're implementing it around here.
Yeah, actually, what I do happen to know is that when the what's it called, DNC, the National Democratic Convention, or NDC,
Correct.
When that came in to Charlotte, they put, I think the statistic was $2 billion into putting surveillance throughout the cities and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So in those cases, they're probably I'm not directly involved with that, but they're most likely putting in very high resolution cameras that are catching not just license plates and faces, but they're actually tracking movement of people and doing analytics of their body language as well.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, that's where that AI, that machine learning type stuff comes in. And to the Bank of America point, let's say that Reece gets really mad that the Panthers are losing and takes his shirt off and starts, I don't know, flailing around, gets kicked out of the stadium. I'm sure that they probably have some systems in place where cameras detect the face so that they don't allow you back into the stadium because you're paying for life. Yeah,
definitely. They will have those kinds of systems in place already.
Yeah, that's insane.
It'll detect a face. It'll alert that this person is on an alert in the system.
Yeah.
And it will, if they have a log of why, they can reject their access.
Well, I got a question on the business side of things since we're talking to a lot of young entrepreneurs. Where in the beginning of starting a business, a lot of times people don't get security cameras because they're like, I trust my not franchise restaurants is pretty, they always get it in, you know.
Oh yeah.
But like regular businesses, a lot of times they're like, I trust my employees, and most of the time they are trustworthy.
Right.
What are the other reasons that you need cameras inside of a normal business?
You need cameras just in case something happens of any sort.
Give me some of those.
In one case, we had a car that was parking and the person hit the accelerator, went right through the business.
Okay.
And in that case, you have a video record of what happened, what time it happened. That goes to the insurance company. In another case, we had a Burger King where there was a grease buildup in the hood, and that grease caught fire in the morning when they fired up the broiler.
Okay.
And what happened was, in the video surveillance, you don't see the fire actually happening, but you start to see a little bit of the smoke come out, and then you see the actions of the firefighter. So that's something that the insurance company wants as a record of that insurance claim.
Wow.
So there's a lot of insurance involved with video surveillance other than theft, just anything, fires, floods, anything.
So just so if they're like, what if you caused it? And then they're like, you have a video camera to prove whether it was natural or if it was caused by you as well.
Of course. We had a client, I'll give you another scenario. We had a client in Malibu this past November.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard about the fires out there.
Yeah,
the wildfires, is that what you're talking about?
Right. Their home was right in the mountains, and our cameras were recording remotely, and it caught how the fire came over, the time that it came over. That is sent into the insurance company. So even though it was a wildfire, that's something that the insurance companies still need as a record for that home insurance claim.
Do you think records like that, when they're that detailed, when you can tell exactly what time the flame happened, and or the case of the Burger King, do you think things like that accelerate the claim process?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do, because if you don't have that, what they may do is they may launch a further investigation that involves many hours.
Right.
And
manpower and
and reports. And when you have a video, you're able to sit down in an office, review the video, and within a couple of hours, you know exactly what's going on, how it happened, when it happened.
Yeah. By the same token, do you think that sometimes video surveillance, or maybe even poorly done video surveillance, obviously you've never done, but do you think that things like that might mud the situation?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Years ago, before we had full high definition cameras and high resolution cameras, we had to go based off of colors of clothing. We couldn't define facial characteristics.
Yeah.
Now, with the way cameras are, we can define up to eye color.
Yeah.
You can map a face off of an image.
Yeah. It's insane because you couldn't get anything off of colored shirts.
No.
Especially when some employees wear the same shirts.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like a guy in the red shirt. The
Yeah.
whole team wears a red shirt.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the first time we identified a suspect based off of the brand of shoes he was wearing.
Wow.
And I mean, the police, the business owner, and we were just amazed that we were able to get that detail.
Yeah.
But that was many years ago. Now that's just kind of standard.
Yeah.
Now you get a discoloration of the nail.
Of course.
That's crazy. I went to school at UNC Charlotte, and UNC Charlotte's taken some serious steps in its campus's safety and the surveillance and stuff. And they have a blue light system where I think it's like every 300 yards or something, there's different blue light or whatever. But I remember going to school back from 2006 to 2010, and back then, if somebody was scaring people on campus or whatever, it would say characteristics like white man, height 6 foot tall, wearing yellow shirt or something like that. And then even towards the time that I graduated, it was a little bit more specific than that. It'd be like this guy or whatever, 5'6", like wearing Adidas polo with whatever, hair parted left, or like I mean, it was way more specific.
You can definitely decipher the clothing that somebody's wearing, whether it has a logo on it, a specific brand to it.
Yeah.
That is something that really helps.
Yeah.
Business owners and homeowners.
Yeah, so you were explaining something earlier at our coffee meeting where basically you were talking about DVR. So if I go inside of Bojangles and I steal 3 chicken sandwiches, a chicken supreme, and I roll out, and on the way out I take the DVR.
Right. Can
I get caught?
Most likely not.
Why is that?
Because all that footage is gone.
Okay.
So unless those cameras have built-in recording to each camera, which I would say 90% of the cameras they have the capability, but they're not enabled.
So you had a solution to this, and I thought it was really cool. That's why I wanted to set you up on this. So
of course.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So basically what we're doing is we are taking cameras now, setting them up on a secure network within a business, so they can't be accessed by a manager PC or even a POS server PC. And they're completely separate. And what those cameras are doing is they're recording to a dedicated DVR offsite in real time. And so those cameras, it's going over the internet, it's recording at a whole different location, secure facility. You don't have any access to the recording. That recording is accessible by the business owner and managers. They're given different levels of access to that system. However, they are always blocked from ever deleting footage. It can never be deleted.
So basically, you have your own data center, and you can just give the recordings to the when they need it.
Right. So if they want a full white glove service, as I would call it, they can give me a call or an email and say, hey, we had an incident happen on Wednesday at 10 a.m. and we would like the footage from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Wednesday. And what we will do is grab that footage and send a download link to the authorized parties so that they can download that footage and either hand it over to their insurance company or to the proper authorities.
Wow, that's an incredible system. Have you ever had any type of logistical problem with that, whether it's maybe, you know, their internet being spotty or, you know, power surges or anything like that with recording off-site?
Power surges, we try to take care of that by just implementing enough UPS backup battery to handle.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Sorry.
I was like UPS. I was like, so you deliver the
I
video?
get a little lost in my tech jargon.
Yeah, no, you're doing great with that stuff, by the way.
But yeah, backup battery. Try to design my system so that the cameras always stay on for at least 1 hour if the power goes out.
Mm-hmm.
That includes the internet connection.
Yeah.
Now, in some areas, we do have problems with internet connectivity.
Right.
So what we try to do in that circumstance is we try to put an on-site DVR that is always coupled up with an off-site DVR.
Gotcha. So you do both.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can actually set it up to where the remote DVR off-site is grabbing the footage from the on-site DVR in real time.
Gotcha.
But that way, if the internet does go out, you're still recording.
Yeah.
You're not just stuck.
Yeah. So outside of cameras and stuff like that, what other types of security protocol do you think a business owner could implement to help keeping their business safe?
They always need to have a very reliable fire alarm and reliable monitoring for when nobody's there.
Right.
That way, if a door is opened or if there's a motion sensor tripped, there's at least an alert coming to them.
Yeah, so at least they know. Yeah.
Right. And a lot of the alarm companies, monitoring companies, we don't do monitoring specifically, but a lot of the monitoring companies do offer phone apps that you can give access to your managers on a limited basis.
Right.
So that's something that definitely goes in line with having this, but I find that a lot of the security alarm monitoring companies don't have the latest in camera technology.
Right.
So that's why we come in and fill that gap.
That's actually kind of cool. Reece has some stores where he has a camera set up so that he can look at, he can see his employees and what they're doing on his phone.
Yeah.
I've always thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah.
Not that it'd be that useful for what we do, but it's really cool for that kind of system.
Yeah.
Of course.
They usually just flick me off or whatever. It's all
the
good.
light turns green, you know, it's like.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
It is what it is, man.
Oh yeah.
It's all good. How often do you find yourself? And I'm going to switch gears after this question too. But
Yeah.
how often do you find yourself working closely in conjunction with alarm companies like, you know, your CPIs and security companies like that?
I work a lot. We work a lot based on new construction.
Right.
So we'll work right in line with them on that. Usually, if we're doing a new construction on a building, we'll actually do all the pre-wiring for the alarm company, the monitoring company. So we'll pull all the sensors to the doors, the motion sensors, glass break sensors. We'll pull all their wires for them so that it is hardwired.
Yeah.
And that way they come in, just install their monitoring equipment.
Yeah, they probably love you. They probably see all this stuff already done.
Oh yeah,
we just gotta hook that up. All right, see you later.
Of course. Oh yeah, they just come in and it's all labeled. They come in, plug it in, and go. And
That's
sometimes
awesome.
They're in and out within 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, I know you said your background was in IT. I'm sure that just helps tremendously, being able to think about, you know, where to place things, where to wire things, where to put things, and, you know, that way when people work together, it makes a better common result, you know?
It does, and that really helped also in developing the remote recording infrastructure, understanding how the internet operates, how firewalls operate, and understanding how to create separate secure networks for our cameras.
Yeah.
Because if you don't understand the IT aspect of things and just come in and hook up cameras, it's a very straightforward thing. You just plug the camera into the DVR, and it starts recording.
Right.
But if you want to record off-site and you really want to keep people out of your camera network, you have to understand how to separate networks, how to delegate access to those systems, and keep it out of the hands of people that want to delete that footage.
Yeah, that's absolutely fascinating stuff. I'm sure we could talk about the intricacies of technology and cameras and surveillance for eternity, man. You know everything about this stuff. I'm just eating it all up, and I'm like the biggest James Bond fan you're ever gonna meet in your life too. So you're thinking all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, but can you put it in a watch? But anyway, so
actually, you can. I had that watch. Remember?
Listen.
I had that when they came out. That watch had the camera on the front.
Yep.
I was like, I'm getting it.
Man.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Oh yeah.
Then it became not cool like 3 months later.
Yeah, it was what it was. Christian's what you call an early adopter. If there's something new and shiny out, he must have it.
Yeah.
And I'm what you call an Apple fanboy. So if Apple created some kind of, I don't know, shiny magical floating disc or something, I would have to have it immediately. So it is what it is. So here at Business Legends, we like to talk to business leaders, entrepreneurs, and people that just have experience in these different things. So I kind of want to shift a little bit to entrepreneurship. Man, you're in surveillance installation for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody's a master this, it's got to be you, right? So let's say, not that you want to train your competition, but let's say that somebody wants to start their own company. You know, you can't have all the business. You know, you're not going to be right in business necessarily in, you know, whatever, New York or whatever else. So what steps would you recommend they take in order to kind of start a company doing what you do?
Be very slow and conservative in your growth.
Okay.
Don't try to grow too fast. I can say this from experience in that I did that.
Right.
I tried to grow way too fast into too many areas, and I found myself, taking jobs 3 hours away before I had the manpower to handle that 3 hours away.
Right.
So if you do something that far away, and you don't have anybody to support it afterwards on site, if there is an issue, and then you find yourself waking up at 4 o'clock on a Monday morning and driving 3 hours to fix something that takes you 10-15 minutes to fix.
So you're somebody to a human ping pong ball.
Right.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
You really do. And at the end of the day, you're tired and you're saying, why am I driving all this distance for, that I could have hired somebody to go over there and take care of for me.
Absolutely.
So.
And in 15 years, would you think that there's anything specifically that you've learned about your industry?
Specifically about the industry?
As in a learning lesson, like something you wish you had known 15 years ago, let's say it that way.
How to really be reliable. 15 years ago, it was totally different. I was really trying to offer more than what I could do at that time. And you really need to learn. You need to dive into your industry. If you're going to do it all the way.
Yeah, and master your specific craft instead of trying to be a jack of all trades or whatever.
Exactly. You really want to make sure that you know what you're talking about. You don't want to have to sit there and say, well, let me look up the technical specifics on this in the book.
Yeah.
You got to learn your product before you go on site.
Right.
You got to know when somebody asks you, how much time of recording can I get out of 8 cameras at 8 megapixels resolution.
Right.
You need to be able to bring that up off the top of your head.
Right. So basically, you install a calculator chip into your head, and you,
Exactly.
and you figure out how to calculate all
of course,
these different
you have
things.
to create in your own head your own spreadsheet that you keep in your head.
Yeah.
So you can say, well, I've got 8 cameras at this resolution with this much hard drive space that I'm putting in there. And that's going to give me 30 days or 60 days or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that way you can accurately tell people this is what you're getting.
Right.
Rather than just giving them a retail box and saying, these are the technical specs and isn't this just cute?
Right. Absolutely. That's miraculous. I think that is the human ping pong portion that I'd struggle with. If somebody was like, yeah, how much recording, how much time am I going to get out of this? I'd be like, I don't know. That's why I'd fail in your industry. And that's why we have you. That's what it is, man.
Everybody's got to have their own thing.
That's right. So what would you say some of the biggest challenges you've had are since you've started, and especially since you've started, perimeter video?
Some of the challenges being just, at first it was trying to get business. That was the challenge of gaining trust with clients. When you start out in a market like Los Angeles, you're dealing with you're not dealing with mostly mom and pop shops, you're dealing with business owners who own anywhere from 10 to 50 locations.
Oh, wow.
My biggest client out there owns 150 franchise locations.
Wow.
And this is a single owner.
Yeah.
And when somebody's dealing with a business of that size, they don't just trust you.
Yeah.
They don't walk in the door and say, hey, I'm selling a security camera system, would you like to buy it?
Right.
They look at you with the best poker face you've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, just stone cold and picking you apart type of thing.
Like you're one of 50 people that I've heard from this.
Yeah, exactly. And when you're running a business of that size, you get people who are constantly hounding you for business.
Yeah.
And they need to know that they can trust you.
Yeah.
So a lot of my work came from word of mouth.
Yeah.
From other people who have said, hey, I've used this guy, he's really good, you can trust him, he's not going to try to take apart your business for his own gain.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be fair to yourself, but you can't get greedy.
Yeah, that's probably one of the things I would say entrepreneurs these days struggle the most with, is not necessarily the quality of the product, but more getting the product out there type of thing. So, it might be hard to look back 15 years ago. I hardly remember what I had for breakfast this morning, but, when you were getting that ball rolling, or the boulder rolling, I guess you could say, what steps did you take to get people to know, like, and trust you?
What I would try to do is just, every time I would meet somebody who would give me just a little job to gain some trust, I just put 110% into it.
Yeah.
Always went all in, just made my cables the absolute best you can, just to show them, hey, this is what I'm capable of.
Right.
And even though this is a small job, I'm still going to make it look like an enterprise
Yeah.
job. And I still do that today. When we're building a new franchise location, in a lot of times you go into, I'll give you an example, Dunkin' Donuts.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of those.
I go into a lot of those.
Talking to the Dunkin' man.
I come out of a lot of them with a bag, but
nice.
food.
Right.
But what we do is you'll notice a difference between the locations that I handle and the locations that another franchisee nearby handles, is that they just stick their equipment on a shelf or on a wall and it sits there.
Mm-hmm.
My locations are always installed with a rack. The cables are always secured nice and neat, and you can tell the difference is that I put an enterprise look to it.
Yeah.
Even though it's small.
Right.
It's secured, it's functional.
Yeah, no wires getting tangled up. And,
Exactly.
you know.
There's nobody sitting there on a shelf going, well, which one's the internet line, which one's the DVR line?
People argue and say that like little things like that don't matter, but I'm 100% believer that it matters, especially to your employees. Like when people are walking around the office in the area, they see everything that looks kind of sloppy and put together because the consumer doesn't see it, so they don't care.
That's right.
Like they feel like they don't care, they feel disorganized, they feel off-put. But then if you have it all organized, neat, and nice, all of a sudden everybody's motivated, everybody's clean, they come in organized. Like little things like that really matter.
They do.
Yeah. Devil's in the details, baby. That's
Devil's in the details.
Devil's in the details. All right, James, thank you so much for joining us. We're not done yet, though. I got to ask you my silly question.
Of course.
So I've been thinking about this quite a bit, and I think it's just so perfect for keeping your business secure. James Clack, if you could have any spy gadget, what would you have?
Oh, gee, a spy gadget.
Spy gadget. It better be a good one. I'm totally judging you for this, by the way.
man.
My brain goes straight to Go-Go Gadget for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll share mine too.
You know what? I would love to have a rocket belt.
Yes.
Spy gadget. Make a quick getaway.
Yeah.
Just press a button on my belt and rockets come out and I'm gone.
Oh my God, that's perfect. That is a James Bond thing. A James Bond thing is always have an escape plan. Always remember that.
That's right.
My spy gadget, I think I'm gonna have to take the Aston Martin DB5 that's in Goldfinger.
Oh.
Obviously, and I would consider. I mean, it's a multiple gadget for sure.
Of course.
But could you possibly have a cooler car?
It's a multi-tool.
It's a multi-tool, right? It's like the Swiss Army knife of tools. And now that we're talking about cars, we've completely lost Christian. I can see his eyes on like back of his skull, and he has no idea what's going on.
Chief.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I know what cars are. So, James Clack, our guest this morning, Perimeter Video. James, let's say to our listeners out there, they want some advice with surveillance, or they want to hire you and get some new equipment or anything like that. How do they find you?
They can find me at perimeter.video. That's the website.
Okay, no .com, it's just perimeter.video.
Correct.
Okay.
So www.perimeter.video.
Very good.
And they can go there. You want my phone number is
yeah,
sure.
you can put it out. It's whatever.
I don't want it.
Yeah, I don't need it or anything.
That's 828-529-0002.
Very good. James, thank you so much for joining us this morning, man. Hope you have a wonderful day.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much.
30 minutes on the dot. Bam!
Man, that was
Wow.
great job. I
You
appreciate
did
it.
awesome.
That was fun.
Gotta do this job.
Rocket Bell. I don't even think about Rocket Bell. That is the single best answer I've
Have you ever
anybody's-
seen those videos of
Yeah,
the bell
yeah,
rocket
of
bells?
course I have.
Oh man.
Oh man, that was perfect.
Yeah.
That was so unexpected. Like I thought